Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Jelayna here. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been coming to this channel and enjoying the videos, subscribing and sharing. That means so much to me. Please continue to do so. And today I'm coming to you in one of my coziest of sweaters and toppiest of top knots to offer a 30-minute Yin Flow. And I know that there's been requests for more active videos, and they'll come, but I really do feel that the practice of yin is so important, especially at times like this, learning how to slow down. And if you're like me and you deny yourself the right to rest that we have, then we can do this together and reclaim our right to rest. So you won't need any yoga props, but if you do have a few things around the house, they might be helpful for this practice. First of all, a stack of books. And they can even have titles that inspire you to slow down. Once you have a sturdy stack of books, another thing to have is a yoga blanket or just a regular blanket so that you can have that to lay over top of the body if need be. Another thing that is really helpful is cozy socks so that your toes don't get cold. And maybe they have important messages for your loved ones to read, like, if you can read this, please bring me wine. The perfect way to end a yin practice. So once you have your various yin accoutrements, we will begin laying down comfortably on the back. So grab your props, head to the mat, and let's learn to slow down together. So as you set up on the mat, making sure that the knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the floor, begin to gently lay the torso all the way down onto the ground. Begin with the feet nice and wide on the mat and see how it feels to let the knees knock together. You might spread the arms out nice and wide onto the floor if you need some space. If you want to connect to the breath, then rest the hands softly on the belly to feel where the breath is in the body. And once you've found a cozy laying down position, just resting the back of the head on the floor, tucking the chin slightly, close the eyes. And there are usually 3 steps to entering into a yin posture. The first is the setup, making sure that you have the large body parts placed in a comfortable way. Just feeling where soles of feet, back of head touch the ground. The second is the tiny adjustments. So if you need to adjust hair, shirt, pants, the little things, little but important. And the third is dropping in. So once you finish the setup, closing the eyes and allow yourself to sink into the posture. Relaxing the muscles in the face, feeling the throat release, feeling the natural weight of the body pressing into the floor. And just letting the mind follow that flow of breath in through the nose. And let it fall out through the mouth. Just continue to breathe deeply. Long breath in. And even longer breath out. And as the breath flows, notice if there are points of tension in the body that are still holding on, and give them this chance to release, especially as you breathe out. And it's okay if the mind is still full and moving in many directions. Our task right now isn't so much to fight with the mind, but to witness it and notice the thoughts. in this place of deep breath, of observing the mind patiently, start to move the fingers a little, begin to roll the head from side to side, just massaging the back of the head. And once you've moved those areas, if you haven't yet, spread the arms out wide onto the ground. Take up space here. Palms can face up or down. Begin to separate the knees if they are connected. Keep the feet wide and guide the knees all the way over towards the right for a wide-legged twist. And this might be enough, or you might place the right ankle on the left thigh bone, adding a little bit of extra stretch. If that's too much, just place the right ankle on the ground. And as the eyes close, coming back to that rhythm of breath in the body. You might even find it helpful to count the breath. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, full of breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold on empty. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, full. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold at the bottom. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Breathing in, continue in this way. If it's helpful for you, counting and breathing, or just let the breath flow naturally. A few more moments here. And just bringing awareness to that right ankle, if it's on the leg, so gently place the right ankle on the ground. Moving the fingers again, pressing into the feet. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. And maybe you move the hips a little to the right as the knees transition all the way over towards the left. And again, this shape might be more than enough. That soft twist, or place left ankle on right thigh bone, adding that little bit of extra help in the twist. See where the head would like to go naturally. And if that breath count was soothing for you, come back to it. We're just letting the body receive the twist, receive the breath as eyes close and tension drains out of the body. Anytime you notice the mind is wandering off, just invite it kindly back to the breath, back to the feelings of this shape. Just following the breath once again, feeling the hands, feeling where the breath is in the body. Become aware of that left ankle, if it's on the right leg, gently guide it back to the mat. Pressing into the feet, bring the knees back towards center and let the knees have a chance to just float gently from side to side. A very kind release for the hips, for the low back. Breathing out of the mouth if you find that is relaxing for you, that extra bit of letting go. Once you move the knees from side to side, bring them back to center. Heel toe the feet together till arches are touching. Let the knees fall apart into a butterfly pose. So for some, this might be very welcoming. For others, this might be intense. We'll be here for just about a minute. You might have the arms rest out wide on the ground or placing hands on belly, maybe hands on legs. See what you're drawn to naturally. And just allow the weight of the thigh bones to provide the stretch, not pushing. Closing the eyes once again and see how much you can breathe into the front of the body, into this very open shape. Closed eyes, patient thoughts. Just using that gentle discipline of bringing thoughts back to breath, back to body. If the thoughts need to wander, let it happen. Feel that sweet, slow flow of breath movement, and consider using the hands on the outsides of the legs to help gather the legs back towards center. And as you breathe in, reach the right hand towards the back of the mat, roll towards the right side of the body. The left side is more comfortable, go there. Rest on the side body for a moment. And take this moment to think of something that would be helpful to let go of. There's almost always something that we need to let go of, be it mental, emotional, or physical. So if there is something that you know you need to release, bring it to mind. Just continue that practice of letting go as we move through our postures. So pressing into the left palm, begin to gently peel the torso up and away from the floor and turn to face towards the top of the mat. Extend the right leg straight forward and bring the sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh. A couple of options: you might sit up onto that blanket. You might place the blanket underneath of the left leg, adding that little bit of support. Flexing the right foot. Arms can be relaxed beside you. Arms can be behind you, coming into a forward fold. Allow the torso to just drape forward. So it's not about hinging, it's more about rounding and surrendering to the shape. The foot can splay off to the side, arms can rest forward or back, and then let the head just drop as you breathe into the back body, closing the body. Forward folds are calming by nature, so just giving into that nature of calm. In about a minute here, so just let yourself focus on where you feel sensation and watch how that sensation changes. The shoulders release, feel the cheeks sag forward, let the lower half of the jaw drop and unhinge. Starting to notice low back muscles. Notice where hands might be touching the ground. Use low back. Use hands to gently curl the body up and out of this shape. And coming towards a simple switch, extend the left leg out. Bringing that right leg in. And option to place that blanket underneath of the right leg, just switching sides, really simple. Flexing the left toes, they might drift off to the side. That same approach of letting the arms rest alongside you or back behind you. See what allows the shoulders to release and let the torso melt forward once again. Let the weight of the head provide the stretch here. Eyes closed, breath nice and deep. The breath move into the side body, the low belly. And if you have chosen something to let go of, bring it to mind, especially as you breathe out. Notice if something is still holding on in the body, can you invite it to let go? Starting to feel the strength in the low back, the pressure of hands against floor. Begin to coax the torso up and out of this. And once you are all the way up, connect the soles of the feet together, coming towards a butterfly shape. So sitting up nice and tall, take the feet a little bit further away from you so that you have more of a diamond shape in the legs. And you can press the palms together, reaching them out in front of you. And as you lower the hands, if the fingers tickle the heels, it's usually a good spacing for where the feet can be. Not science. Arms can be forward. Arms can be back behind you, rolling the torso down. You might even take the heels of the hands and let the forehead rest in the heels of the hands. See what is doable, not pushing the legs, just let them happen. Let them give into gravity and give yourself at least 8 satisfying breaths here as the head drops down. Let your mind just rest on the counts of the breath. So if you need more time in the breath, take your time. Once the breath has cycled through you as an inhale arrives, use it to exit kindly and slowly. Use the hands on the outsides of the legs. Gather the legs together. Step the feet nice and wide onto the ground, hands behind you. Let your knees drape from side to side. That sweet release for low back, for low glutes. Once you sway the knees from side to side, let the knees come all the way over towards the right. And place that right hip on the floor. Take the left leg back behind you, left knee bent. Allow your weight to settle into that right hip, coming to a 90-90 hip stretch. Now, if you're comfortable and you want to extend that left leg all the way back, you're welcome to. Just making sure there's no pressure in the knee. And you might even sit the right hip onto the blanket. That's an option too. Take a brief moment to sit up tall. Feel where the stretch is. You might flex the right foot, it might just be pointed. See what keeps the knee soft and sweet. And once you have been elevated for a moment, on the exhale, coming down, you might rest on the forearms. You might come all the way down, stacking the palms, resting head on palms, or even on those books or blankets. See where you can maintain this. And for many of us, we hold a lot of tension in the hips, so just let the tension go as you breathe out. And if you experience emotions rising as well, sometimes intense, just breathing through them, not attaching to, but witnessing the feelings and knowing that ultimately they will pass. Let the shoulders relax, especially if they got helpful. Jaw relaxes. We're here for about a minute. Let the posture change. If you need to change and shift and make little adjustments while you're here, let it happen. Another few deep breaths, gentle thoughts. The arms are resting on the ground. Starting to push into the mat, begin to lift the torso up. Take your time as the head arrives on top of shoulders. Take the hands behind you. Bring the feet onto the ground nice and wide and let the knees have that chance to wave from side to side. Sweet release. Hopefully that wine is waiting for you at the end of this practice. And then guide the knees all the way over towards the left. So same setup here, and the left side might be completely different for the right. Allow for that individualness in the legs. Right knee can be bent or straight. You can rest the hip on a blanket, left hip on blanket. Foot can be flexed or pointed. You might be really happy here, sitting in a tall position, or begin to lower down. And again, allow for differences between the sides. One might be much more tight, much more intense. No matter what the posture brings up, meet it with breath. Find your edge where you feel enough and breathe into that edge. A minute to experience this shape. Relax through shoulders, neck, even corners of the eyes, small places. Another good opportunity to let go of the thing you have chosen to release. Let it go as you breathe out. Become aware of where hands touch floor, beginning to resist the ground away. Take your time as you exit. Bringing the shoulders up, take the hands back behind you, take the feet nice and wide onto the mat, let your knees have that chance to wave from side to side. Oh, the end of pigeon is the best part of pigeon. So bringing the knees back to center, so this is where your stack of blocks might come in handy. So keep books that act as yoga block. Don't need no fancy props here. So once you are in a seated position, feet on the floor in front of you, we're going to lay the torso down once again, and then taking the blocks, slide them underneath of the sacrum. So the sacrum is the back of the hips, that space just above the tailbone. So you want to make sure it's not digging into the low back. You have a little bit of support for the hips. Feet are on the ground, arms alongside the body, and you have options here. For some, extending the legs straight out in front so you get that really nice openness through the front of the hips might be nice. If there's compression in the low back, then just leave the feet on the floor. Knees can be resting together. But use this time to receive support. And some of us are not the best at receiving support, and it might come from practicing receiving support from books. So as the hips settle into the books, again, if it feels like it's digging into the low back, move it towards the tailbone, palms facing up, back of the head on the ground. Let the belly breath flow here and feel the face relax. Feel the fingers curl. Let the bowl of the pelvis start to puddle. And just know that you are deserving of rest. We all need rest. Using this time to replenish. Take as long as you need in this shape of support. This might be where you choose to stay for the next little while. Or if you're ready to come down off of your books, lifting the hips and starting to guide the books off to the side, allowing the spine to come down bone by bone. Let the knees have that chance to wave from side to side once again. Offering gratitude towards self for coming to the mat to slow down and let go, which is often the hardest part of this practice. So once the knees have swayed, there's that option to extend the legs straight out onto the ground for the best position ever, Shavasana, that place of release, that place of letting go. Letting the hands rest on the body, beside the body, closing the eyes, and letting the mind rest on the change that has taken place in body, mind, and soul, and that sweet anticipation of a lovely glass of wine. Namaste, and rest deeply, friends.